Hi, my name is Alake Pilgrim, and this is an excerpt from a story called The Bees. Maybe it was the endless logging, or the quarry some company had started digging near the last strip of forest. Or maybe it was his father's blight coming to find him. But one morning, as Vishnu was about to suit up, he heard an angry hum close in on the village. Soon the whole place was in an uproar. They could all hear it, the loud raging hum from the black clot bleeding into the sky. Bees everywhere, in every nook and cranny, squirming through half-open windows, fuzzying curtains, leaking under doors, crawling across bare skin, creeping down into the dark depths of underpants. The children who came out to greet Vishnu ran pell-mell through the streets, slipping, falling, crying, bouncing into each other, eyes closed, arms flailing, their parents shouting, get inside now, slam, slam. Everyone shoved newspapers into ventilation blocks and the cracks around windows and doors, while the seething cloud made the sky shudder with noise. Vishnu, Layla pleaded, trying to hold him inside the house. He wrenched out of her grip and slipped through the front door, shutting it quickly behind him. Once inside, nobody but Layla dared to press their eyes to even the smallest crevice in case they were stung blind. A prayer from her childhood school rose unbidden to mind. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. She found herself repeating the words. She didn't know why. Apart from her, only their old neighbor Queen Anne, who was sitting calmly on her own front porch, saw Vishnu go out in his bright red underpants. His body was thin and golden in the light as he looked up, raised his long arms and shouted over the moan of the bees, "Go! If you want to go, go!" Layla whispered prayers for compassion. Vishnu cursed the shivering air. The black hole reared above him, alive with noise. There was a sound like gunshots or applause. Someone had set fire to the empty hives, and the blaze spread to the surrounding trees, crunching its way through the end of the forest. Vishnu stopped screaming. The swarm hung over him like a groan, a dark and writhing island. If you want to go, go, he surrendered with a sudden sense of calm. The bees waited for a moment, looking down at him, then leaked away into the trembling air. Slowly, villagers surrounded Vishnu as he crouched down in front of his house. Layla came out, threw a sheet over him, and stood between them and her husband, but he did not look up. Someone shouted in the crowd. Lalo, Rocky, and Junior limped to the front, nursing their swollen limbs, their faces shifting like the leaves of a deep forest tree. There was a sudden glint of light as from a cutlass or a gun. A high wind whistled over the junction. Vishnu stood up and moved Layla behind him. Someone had doused the forest fire. Ash and smoke danced through the square. A pot-bellied piebald dog limped away, rolling one baleful eye in their direction. "You's a effing blight!" The villagers' voices rose to a high-pitched drone as they crawled toward them. They stopped, twitching, hesitant. Queen Anne had come to stand next to Vishnu and Layla. She said not a word to the crowd, but something in her face made them fall back. Vishnu could taste pennies under his tongue. "Son," she told him, "old end, new beginning. Go and find what it is you have for do. As for the rest of all you," she raised her voice slightly, turning to the villagers, "go home. Thank you. Good night."